Welcome back to the channel, guys. And today on this episode, we're going to talk about the deer that we've killed over the years. I know hunting public land is tough. And just to show you guys, we do kill buck. Now, I've killed a lot of doe over my lifetime. I'm not going to sit here and say I've killed a ton of buck, but I will tell you, as I had said earlier, I know a lot of what to do and I know a lot of what not to do. And one of the things I wanted to show you guys is on these two mounts that I have. Here's two that I wound up taking. And as you can see, these are European mounts. But one thing that I learned over the years is these young buck, their bone and facial mass is very thin. And if you don't do it right, which as you can tell, and I'm going to show you one that I had professionally done, is they break in the front of their jaw and their mouth area where their nose would be. They do break very easily. And as you can see, this one still stayed together for the most part. And this was a nice 5 point. He was something. But as you look, you can tell they were young. This was a 7 the hard way, let me tell you. So Charles, if you want to put them down quick, don't want to break that. Here was one that I took. Those two buck right there were taken down in Lancaster County in what we call the honey hole. Now this was done by a professional. This buck I shot during the rifle season. And if you look, you can see how white and bright it is. Because this was professionally done. They put the cure rating. I can see right through this because this guy was a young buck also. But he was one of my nicer bucks that I feel that I took. And boy, he was...
Little clap crawl.
Yeah, he was crawling through. He was cruising through when I wound up shooting him one day. But the difference between what not to do, the first two that I showed you, and then having it done professionally was pretty impressive. I'm not good at doing that. Just wanted to show you another one. This boy was taken down in Maryland a couple years back. Nice 8 point, small, but had a nice little spread on him. Which one you got there? This was a 6 point. Man, this guy was a nice little symmetrical one taken during the archery season, mid archery last year. That was a nice buck. Not too heavy, but still a buck, like I said. Here's another nice rack. As you can see, this guy was a heavy mass one, but another what not to do. If you look at him, he's very heavy. He's a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this was the 10. This one was taken down in Maryland, but if you look at it, you'll say, why is it so dark, his rack? Well, when you go and put polish on it and try to make it look nice and pretty and try to do something with it so you can make a nice mount out of it, obviously, one of what not to do, like I told you. I know what to do and I know what not to do, and this was definitely a not what to do. I don't know if I can get it bleached in years to come, maybe get it back to its normal state, but right now, I don't want to mess with it. Just leave it the way it is. And then, Charles, did you bring in your...
Yeah, we got one here.
Did you bring in your...
You want to lift that one up there?
Did you bring in your first...
The first buck, other than... the first buck, little guy. He was a nice little guy that we shot. I shot. The first deer we killed together, and he was a nice little guy. Well, we have my second one, the 8 point that I shot this year on camera. We have him coming. He's going to be a whole head, right?
Yeah, he's a shoulder mount. So he's going to be a complete shoulder mount. Just want to remind you guys, I've been hunting so long that I can remember my first buck as a little 4 point, and I tell you, it was one of the most exciting days that I can remember of hunting, and I can still remember it like it was yesterday. He was trailing 2 doe, and he was hot on their trail during rifle season, but in our state they've changed all that over the years, so now you can hunt buck and doe together, and we got all these antler restrictions and stuff that you got to be able to kill deer with 3 antlers on one side.
So back then it was like hunting when I was growing up hunting. Until you get to a certain age, there was no restriction. If it was brown, it was down. Basically, is what you're trying to say here.
Well, when you were younger, they changed the regulations that because they wanted to entice you guys to be able to hunt. So when you were younger, you didn't have restrictions. I still had restrictions.
But this deer is what you're saying is back then there was no restriction.
When I was hunting, when I first started hunting, you could shoot whatever you wanted.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I could have shot a spike buck. I could have shot a 4-pointer. So a buck was a buck back in the late 80s, early 90s, until they decided to change Gary Alt decided he was the conservationist at that time, and he decided that he was going to change the antler restrictions because guys were complaining that there wasn't any big buck out there. But I just wanted to bring in some context to let you guys know that we're not just out here telling you, hey, we can kill deer and just blowing smoke that we've killed this, we haven't killed that. I know you guys haven't seen but one kill on the cams this year. Hopefully we'll get some more in the future for you guys. We got some exciting stuff that we're going to be looking into. We're going to get into coyote hunting and maybe bring you guys some really exciting video from that. So we got some good ideas for that also.
Turkey hunting's coming.
Get to do some real early scouting also during that time. So yeah, we got some other
spring gobblers coming up. Then we'll transition back into fishing, and then we'll transfer back into deer hunting. Before you know it, it'll be back.
Yep.
The fever will be coming soon. And
I carry it year round.
I'm calling in sick. I ain't feeling well already.
That's right.
I can feel the first day I ain't gonna be feeling well.
We got the Ronas.